Josh, man, how are you?
How's it going, mate?
Yeah, good, good. It's been a while.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Lots happened since I last spoke to you. Definitely. Last time I saw you would have been at the Adelaide show that we did at Enigma Bar.
Yeah, so there was that. What was that the last one, or did you did Jive? That was after that, wasn't it? With yours truly?
Yeah, yeah. One of
Yeah,
the two.
yeah, yeah. And that was you're right, man, because that's one of the things I've written down here is how much you've done since we last actually interviewed. Like, I mean, there's the tour that you've done for your own album. There's the things you did for yours truly. You've been on Unify. You went to America with the Plotting You.
Yep. We did
Yeah,
America. We did Download in the UK.
we'd already done Download, I think. And you
Oh,
did Download again. Yeah,
yeah. I can't remember where what thing happened.
it's been chaotic, man. How
Yeah,
have you managed it? How have you coped?
yeah. It's been really good. I think it's definitely one of those things where we're to the level now that when we're on the road, I feel very comfortable, and it's just dealing with the getting back home and the in between periods that's rough. But yeah, we've had a lot that's changed. Obviously, we've got a different member, different guitarist, and Benny, and that's really just been amazing. He's incredible and has added a whole new dynamic to the band that I think is really exciting. And yeah, I've been working on lots of stuff. Obviously, had period to write, so I think it's definitely been hectic, but it's what we want to do, so it's enjoyable.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was one of the things that you said last time. You said you say it on stage as well, which is just do what you love and then do the fuck out of it, basically.
Yeah,
So that's pretty much what you guys are still doing. So taking into account, because I think that Enigma show was the last one with the previous member as well, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So all that happens, get a new member. You drop this EP is going to be dropping in February, and I have heard it already. Thanks, Sienna.
yeah,
So I have heard it already. You're going to have a tour with North Lane coming up as well early next year.
yeah,
Taking into account. Um, I know when you did the first Future Lovers album, you said you did everything in 10 days, like including the music videos. Has it been a similar
no,
scope this time?
not at all. No, this has been very drawn out. Very like a lot of some of these songs were written prior to Future Lovers. Like the newest one that just came out, More Want. Literally, I wrote that song before Future Lovers was finished.
Hmm.
It went through so many iterations. We recorded everything, and then we weren't happy with the way that it all came together, and there were a few things. So then we literally had to go back in and go through some really tedious processes to kind of get it to land. So it wasn't necessarily the most enjoyable process. Like I enjoyed writing the songs at their inception, I guess, but the process was very difficult and frustrating. But I'm very happy with the result that we have, and I think that there's like, we've tried to do some stuff that's different, and I think that it's at the end, it's ended in a good place.
Yeah. It's a very heavy album. Very, very heavy album.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
where's Future Lovers had the heavy moments, and then there was the hip hop moments, and then there was the more cerebral moments like Wine as an example. Like this one was just as soon as Worship the Intent started, I was like, oh fuck, here we go. And like I mean, and it just continues pretty much the whole way through the six tracks. So why was it two questions? One, why was it more drawn out? And two, why why so heavy? Like why the change from why the progression into heavy?
well, this EP is the first in a series of projects that people are going to hear over the next little bit, and I think more will probably come to light as stuff starts to come out, and people will see it once it's all out in the open. But yeah, all I'll say at the moment is that we're leaning into the specific aspects of the band 100%. So Future Lovers kind of explored them all together and was a mix mash, whereas these are more solidified corners of the band. And I think that you'll see the different aspects of our sound explored across the next series of releases that we have.
So is that, at the risk of putting you on the spot, is that the reason why it's called Death 2?
Maybe.
Oh, you bastard.
Yeah. No, there's been a lot of thought put into how all of this comes out into the open and how it's perceived. A lot of it's already done. Death 2 is just the first step in this kind of series of projects that we're going to be dropping over next year. So yeah, and at the end it'll be a whole project. So I think it's exciting to be able to explore one specific side of the band and really lean into that. And this is definitely the sort of more chaotic side of things.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Oh yeah, just one of your stuff. Yeah, more one. Like the first thing that spread to my mind on that one was like, is that laser guns? Like, is that what I was hearing? So,
Yeah, that
and
is what.
yeah, and Killing Games, like the riffing. Well, I reckon there's a couple of different riffs in there, and that is just like sick as. And listening to that, what that made me then go once I realized you guys were on the North Lane tour as well, which I've already got a ticket for. That really suits in with that crowd. So is that also how you're going to be managing tours that you're going to do as well? Is like if the next one is and I'm taking some creative license here. If the next project that comes out, say in 6 months or whatever, is more of another style that you've got, will you end up going on tours with bands of that style?
I think that we listen to a lot of different music, and in my writing, the influences that I have, which are very eclectic, and probably the second biggest contributor to the writing would be James. He's in the same boat. We like all different types of music, and that's why our music has an eclectic nature to it. And really, we want to tour with all different artists. And I think that we can build sets that are suited to them. I'm not necessarily writing the music with that intention. But then, yeah, whoever it appeals to, I guess, will decide to take us out, and we'll go with it from there. Like we just did that tour in New Zealand, the biggest tour we've ever done with Highly Suspect, who are they're a rock band. They're like not even, and they sold out arenas in New Zealand, fucking giant rock shows, and we were able to play on those shows and not, it's not like we're playing black metal and we're out of place. We're able to still sort of bring the heavy side, but fit more into that world. And even the Death 2 stuff, I mean, it is heavy. It's more so just like dark and chaotic, but it's not necessarily like Die Hard is Murder type deathcore or anything like that. So I think it can still fit in a lot of different worlds, and we're open to touring with all different types of acts. And that's really what we want to do, is diversify that and have that ability to.
Yeah. Cool. When you were going on the tours with you've been on tour with North Lane previously and plotting you, and like we mentioned in America, and you Unify, Downo previously, yours truly when you played at Jive, and your own tour, what lessons did you pick up that you've then gone and put into this music now? I'm presuming you picked up lessons, by the way, when I asked that question.
It's kind of hard because everything's happening so quickly. I guess like a lot of the lessons are more so things about just touring and how to really improve our live show. I kind of see the music and the live side of things sort of separate in the way that I view it. When I come to start thinking about shows, it's different. It obviously informs the writing, but I think it's hard to really quantify because of how quick and how just crazy everything's been. Like, we've been punching above our weight, really, like financially, trying to be on these big tours when you're a small opening band and really push overseas. Like a lot of bands don't actually get overseas till years and years after they've kind of been doing the circuit in their home country, and we've kind of gone straight for the jugular on it. So a lot of those lessons are really more so on the business side and how to manage things and how to survive out there. And I think creatively, all of the ideas that I had never really changed. Like I think that that we're quite creatively informed with what we want to do over the next few years, and it really just solidified that. Like it showed us that, hey, this isn't, we're not just imagining this. Other people are obviously resonating with it, and that's really cool. And that confidence, I would say, is the thing that probably will flow in the most. Just having that bit of a boost to add into what we're doing.
Yeah, I can see that as well, because I can see like how, I mean, I've seen you guys 3 times now, I think it is. And yeah, so Lions Art, Jive, and then Enigma. Enigma closed down, by the way, the other week.
Yeah,
So and you could tell by the time you got to your solo like your own show, you could tell that you guys were in command of what it was that you were doing, and in command of the crowd that you had as well. And not that he's never really had that, but as a support act to being a headline, yourself, you're
yeah.
playing to other people's crowd, now you're playing to your own crowd, and it was really impressive to that. That vision that you talked about, though, is that a vision that you've had pre-Future Lovers to where you are now and beyond?
Yes, I think now, like I mean, it's crazy to think of. Obviously, I appreciate the compliment, but it is crazy to think of pre-America Banks Arcade as a solidified thing, because like once we did that tour, I think that was when we were like, holy shit, there was a massive step up on that tour, just in terms of how we grew. And then from then to here, we pretty much had a period where we were playing no shows for 6 months, and all we were doing was grinding to build the new version. We changed our whole rig, changed everything, and then we did these big shows with Highly Suspect, and now I think that you'll see that step up again, 100%. In terms of the vision, yeah, I think that vision has been there really since the inception of the band, and it still is there. And obviously, you go through tough times and you waver, and you wonder, can I actually do this, or is this too big? But I think that we all have resolve, and we're all committed to the pursuit, and the outcome isn't necessarily, you can't get caught up on the outcome. All you have to do is just put one foot in front of the other, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah. So I know you like to look after yourself in the sense of exercise and that. Do you find that one of the biggest challenges of touring is that you maybe can't do that?
I mean, I still do on tour. Like, even we were going across America, we had the bandwagons, and we'd rock up to a new place. I'd go find a Anytime Fitness, or at if I was lucky, there would be a jiu-jitsu or MMA gym nearby, and I'd go get some rounds in and meet some people. And working out in Walmart car parks and doing stuff like that. I've done it all. Obviously, you get into the lifestyle a little bit, and you have bad food and alcohol and all that sort of stuff. But I try and balance it out with keeping my training. And yeah, you just have to do what you can when you're in those situations. But it is difficult for sure.
Yeah. You know who else does it? Because he told me, I interviewed him a couple months ago. Sean from Taking Back Sunday does the same as you do, like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and that. So if you guys get to meet, he's down for it. I can tell you that right now.
That's it.
The North Lane tour's in February. We're talking now middle of December. I think North Lane's 16th of November in Adelaide. That's 3 months away, 2 months away. What plans have you got in the next 2 months in terms of any promotion for this release that's coming up, or any other tours after that?
So we've got a pop-up show in Melbourne on the 19th of January, where we're going to be hosting a listening party, and having a bunch of exclusive merchandise that's like handmade. And we're also going to have the opportunity for people to listen to deconstructed versions of the songs, where they can isolate stems and actually kind of hear how this come together. And then we're going to be doing a live performance. And then, yeah, we'll have some more announcements about stuff next year that I can't really talk about yet. But there will be stuff post North Lane.
Cool. You said that, I'll just double check. That pop-up show in Melbourne, has that been announced?
Yes, that has been announced.
Okay, all right. I didn't want to write open shit,
No, it got announced today. So that one's good to talk about.
All right, awesome work. So in terms of the lyrical content, I mean, I know you said it's a very dark thing, and like I worship the intent. A fight. I think the lyrics were "a fight better with the lights out." Is that
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
heard? Yeah, yeah. As we mentioned, like Roulette has some like real like gruff vocals in there. What is the lyrical content about?
Hmm.
You know, I'm going to put you on
Well,
the spot, man.
no. That's I think that on a lot of things that I will let the lyrics speak for themselves. I will just say that it is like the emotions that come through in the songs are very much real. Like it was very hectic writing these songs. It felt chaotic, and a lot of it is singing about real experience, both literally and metaphorically. A lot of negative cycles of thinking, um, irrational cycles of thinking that can occur when you're sort of in those states, and I think exploring some of the darker areas of the mind, and I think that with a lot of this kind of art, it is an outlet. It's a commentary. It's not something that people should really consume all the time and just spiral into.
Mhm.
Because I am aware that you're not necessarily adding anything positive to, you take a song like Roulette, really, and if you really break it down, it's got some pretty fucked up shit in there. And so I think that I make this music as a commentary about things that happen in life. It's not necessarily just sending a message saying, here's the answer to all of this, here's what you're meant to do, here's my solution, and this sort of great message out of it. It's kind of just saying, this is fucked. And maybe people listening to it will find a bit of a cathartic release, or maybe they will be able to relate to it in a certain way. But I wouldn't want the music to necessarily encourage or validate any of these sort of feelings that I'm talking about, because I don't necessarily think that they're good, but they are there, and a lot of people experience these sort of thoughts and states of mind. So yeah, that's about as much detail as I will give, and I'm not going to go on and be like, here's what the specific line means, because I leave that up to people to decipher themselves.
I mean, you've always done that. I mean, all your previous stuff has always been very honest, is the word
Yeah,
that I would use. You can tell it's some of it's a rawness that comes from yourself, and as you mentioned, it's people will relate to it, and
yeah.
they will get the cathartic release if they can go through that. Taking that into account, then let's flip that coin. Would you ever just do just like a party song for the sake of it?
Well, yeah. Again, a lot of that stuff. I have many different moods, we are in a position now, because of what we've done with Future Lovers and Fever Dreams, very intentionally, that I don't think that anybody that actually likes our band, that is a genuine fan, is going to be the type of fan that is like, wait, you did this? Because we haven't just done this very set style. We haven't gone and just made a metalcore album, which, in some respects, when people do that, they can have a lot of success early on, because people are familiar with it and it's really able to grow. Whereas we've put ourselves in a position where the people that do like us are kind of ready for anything. So yeah, 100%. You can expect us to do stuff like Death 2 and then come out with things that are poppy, and more songs like Be Someone and Wine, and like all of that is in the future. And I think that we will keep changing aesthetic, sound, and continue to evolve and circle back to something that we were doing years ago. And for as long as this band is around, I can't ever see us just falling into a groove where we just make this kind of music now. I think it would end before we would do that.
Yeah. And that's the point of difference. And that's something, I know we spoke about this previously, that's something that's always been very important about you guys, is that you don't know what you're going to get. Like you open the record, you play the songs, it's just going to go anywhere. And when it does go anywhere, it matches and allows growth, because you're absolutely spot on. The metalcore bands are 3 albums in, it's like you're doing another metalcore album. And if they try and do something, they get grief for it, which you guys are giving yourself the ability to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
think
obviously,
yeah,
there's limiting factors to deciding to do any of those things, but I've always been very, very staunch on the idea that anytime anyone tries to tell me something about the art that we're making and they're talking about the outcome of how it will be received, and this is really another thing that I will say I've learned from this, is to just tell people to fuck off, because we know when it comes to expressing yourself as an artist, you know what you need to do. And there's going to be all these people, big name people who are like, this is do better, or people will like this, or people like, and I don't actually give a fuck, because at the end of the day, you have to make the stuff that you like.
yeah,
And if you can't do that, and if you start making a song and then you start influencing the song because some A&R guy told you that more people will like it if you do this, it's and I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that you have to stick to your guns, and that's the biggest thing that we've learned from this writing process, is really just to trust ourselves and to know that if we have that gut feeling about a song, that's what we have to put out there into the world. And if it's really successful and we all become millionaires, that would be amazing. But it's more so about us knowing that we gave it our best shot to get it as close to genuine expression as possible. And I think that's what really matters out of all of this.
staying true to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I only got 20 minutes. Tiana usually sends me a message at some point to say my time's up. So I don't know if she's still there. I think she is. Well, look, I actually will let you go because it is only 20 minutes supposed to have. And obviously I got the EP as well anyway. So I'll whip up a review of that because Killing Games was the one that really stood out. I really, really enjoyed that, by the way. But that's another conversation for another time.
Yeah.
And we'll catch up when you are here in a couple of